Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on. Thank you so much for the amazing feedback I got. I got a lot of direct messages thanking me for yesterday's video, just because when we took a look at the charts, we were expecting the price to slowly recover and reject off 71,700. It has since done that like a champ. We just got to find out now with all this volume, this new fair value gap, if this is something that's going to be sustainable or if the price should continue lower. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on. If you're new to the channel, just hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Honestly, if you aren't new to the video, like the video regardless, just because it really helps grow the channel. In fact, we got quite a few likes yesterday. I think we got over 100, so deeply appreciate you if you're one of those persons doing that. Thank you so much. So let's take a look here, of course, at the last 7 days liquidation for Bitcoin. We can see we're still kind of ranging, so to speak, from this local low here at about 68.9, upwards of about 73,000 as a rough estimate. Now, again, this is not necessarily a large range. It's just the price action keeps trying to retest that 72K-ish area and having difficulty getting through that. So it's really common for that to happen, especially when there is such, all-time high territory here. It's going to take a lot more volume to be able to blast straight through that 73K resistance. And again, I'm paraphrasing, it's more like 73.6, 73.8, depending on which time frame you choose. But at this point, there's going to be a lot of liquidation left up there because shorts are still in profit and or stop losses are still there, okay? So keep in mind, a lot of this here is irrelevant in a lot of ways until we break past through this local high of approximately, again, paraphrasing, 72,000. But if we take a look here at the liquidation delta, I get questions all the time, like, what the heck does this mean? The easy way to understand it is that this is just like a perspective of how many longs versus shorts there are on the market. Okay, and again, this is based off 3 different exchanges, and these are liquidation liquidation events for leverage. Okay, so all that being said, right now we can see that there is roughly about a $4 billion delta, which implies that there's way more shorts in the market than longs. Okay, now usually that's favorable. That'll give you more success going in the direction of the trend, right? Because again, everybody's shorting, you may as well jump on along with it. Again, we're not the ones to be able to create these trends. We're the ones to identify them and follow them. So if you kind of think about it that way, it's best to consider shorting versus taking a long right now because of that sentiment. There's a lot of other things that factor in, but that's the general idea. When it gets kind of weird and tricky is when this level is too high for too long. That's when you can expect the price to pull back because resistances are holding, and it's just that natural that the ebbs and flows of trading. What goes up must come down. You can't hold a flotation device underwater for forever. It's going to surface eventually. You're going to get tired, right? That's basically what's happening. Anyways, let's take a look here at this open interest is kind of weird. We got a lot of open interest, about 72,200. So that kind of reaffirms that resistance at that 72K mark. So this just kind of implies that a lot of folks in the recent past here, ever since the price was in the 73K range, are pretty heavy in the 72.2 level, okay? So that does kind of reaffirm this as a resistance range here for us, because that's approximately where that open interest is, okay? So again, I'm sorry if you're one of those persons, it's a bummer, but it happens, okay? So it shouldn't be a big deal depending on what kind of leverage you're using. If you're using low leverage and or small position size, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to stress about it. But I get it too, because Bitcoin pulling back harder than I'm sure most people were expecting. Even though I've been kind of anticipating this for a little while, there's a reason why we shorted 73,000. Quick little heads up, thanks again to my committee for awesome feedback too on this. 37% on Bitcoin in 2 days, Near Protocol 32%, and Solana just triggered out this morning, 28% on some shorts we took roughly 2 to 3 days ago. Okay, so daily time frame here, we want to recognize some important stuff. First of all, we're still bullish. I know it seems kind of weird, right? 3 strong, heavy selling pressure days, and we're still bullish. That happens. Even though we lost our ascending trend, that's a shorter term trend line, the macro is still in good shape. I don't have like a macro trend line pulled up, but the 20-day SMA is a pretty good indicator of that. Being above that, we're okay. My speculation is the price does pull back any further. 68.5 should be the lowest point in which we see. I would be interested in long at that level, okay? A reason why is because, again, it's close to the local high. It also reaffirms itself as this 0.618 fib for the the local progression, if you will. And then it also has a bit of confluence there with the 20-day SMA kind of hanging out. Again, the SMAs are not support levels, folks. They're just letting us know the overall trend of what's going on here, okay? So take a look here at the money flow index, RSI, etc. We can see that it's pulling back, it's tapering off. That's normal. Once again, money flow index is lower than the RSI, generally a bearish sign. We want to see that switched around in order to have a good continuation potential. Now, again, it's not a guarantee because last time the price went up pretty hard, the money flow index was behind it too. But it's just stronger and better if it's above, based on the simple fact that people's perception of this coin is, it's still something they want to invest in, but there's also a tremendous amount of money to back that up. So that's generally what we want to look for. We probably won't see that for a while. Either way, it gives me a little concern, just letting me know that, hey, we're the amount of money flowing into the coin isn't as sustainable as the RSI, and those two things are usually speaking well together. So the daily time frame, this easy summary here is it's neutral or bullish neutral, if you will. Okay, but the overall sentiment, I would say that we're still more likely to go up than down with Bitcoin. Taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, what do we see here? Well, this looks like a nice little bottom forming here. Even though we have a pretty nasty candle wick up here so far, there's potential to see a strong amount of support at the 69.3, 69.4 range. Okay, so we could draw a little bit of a trend line here. Just kind of pay attention to that. See if that support level potentially will hold, and we'll leave it orange for the moment. Once again, I always post our playout chart on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord after I analyze the charts. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Okay. Oh, future reference too. Make sure you take advantage of this price pool here, folks. It's kind of a cool opportunity through Bitunix. Great thing is there's a tremendous amount of volume already. You've already got 15 million in volume, so that guarantees us pretty much hitting that 60,000 USDT price pool. So it's awesome stuff. Be sure to check it out. Got some pretty good volume going on here so far. So good job, everyone. Let's take a look here, of course, at the 4-hour time frame. I want to look at the RSIs. We're under 50 on the RSI, still generally considered as bearish, right? So until we break above that, I would be careful taking a long. We can see here money flow index is trailing behind that as well, generally not favorable. Stochastic is swinging up, and MACD is converging. Trend strength indicators hitting its lowest point. There's a good chance we'll see a little bit of a bounce here, especially with this kind of bottoming out here so far. I would recommend waiting a little bit though, because this high volume selling candle leads me to believe that we're going to have some trouble getting past the specific thresholds, such as at 71.7 level and potentially even further. So hypothetically, you could take a long to those ranges, but I think that window of opportunity is almost already closed, because this is roughly where I want to consider a short at 71.7. But unfortunately, obviously wasn't awake for that. However, at this point here, we can see the price action is continuing higher to kind of fill that local fair value gap there. So once more, I think it would be probable to expect the price of Bitcoin to recover. If it does end up recovering well today and getting closer to that $71,000 range, there's a decent chance it could continue higher. So it may be advantageous to consider a long, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud. This is what's kind of giving me the confirmation that it's not really worthwhile taking a long just yet. While we're getting closer, we're not there yet. So first of all, lagging span is free and clear for the moment, but still mostly bearish, right? It's below the price action. So that's sign number one, letting you know that if you have a short open, maybe consider holding it open. But that window of opportunity is closing soon, so bear that in mind. Same thing here with the conversion line and the baseline. They're intersecting, letting us know that we have good momentum in the upside, but still it's kind of in that transition, if you will. Last but not least, we got the cloud, and this guy, upper and lower lead, the price action is below that. So until the price essentially closes above it, either here or here, we have no cause for consideration for a long. So me personally, I'm looking for a long in the next, just say, hypothetically, 10 hours from now. The price action comes up like this and maintains itself in this range. That would be a cause for consideration for a long. Between now and then, it just seems too risky to try to take a long into a resistance range. We want to break that trend, if you will, and establish some higher highs and higher lows. Right now, I do not like the look of this aggressive kind of behavior. Okay, massive sell-off there tells us that we had a lot of selling pressure and there's resistance there. Well, the swift recovery here too lets us know that there's a lot of buying pressure in the 69K range too. So I would say that's generally favorable for upside potential, but there's no doubt about it. We're still slightly bearish on the shorter term timeframes, but still bullish on larger timeframes too. So you can make the judgment call on that one. I'm going to probably wait just a little bit longer to see where we can close. Once again, I'll update our fib levels. I'll post a new playout chart here shortly, but this does feel like we're going to be probably continuing a bit higher to retest that level. And if so, if we could close somewhere in the 71 to 71.5 range, I think there's a decent chance we could see further upside. And that would be a solid consideration there. Because what that would do for us, that would establish higher highs and higher lows. Between now and then, we'd likely be above the cloud. We'd potentially also be over 50 in the RSI in the 4-hour, which to me is a pretty big deal. We're testing that right now. So there's a lot of reasons why it's looking to be better, but we just don't truly have that green light yet, if you will. Okay. All right. Thanks again so much for awesome support. Thanks so much always for hitting that like button and commenting below too if you get a chance. And just thank you for being just really, really cool people. I appreciate you. All right, folks. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I look forward to seeing the next one. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.